just had a moment. I just feel like I had a breakthrough in the grocery store. Been breaking through all over the damn place today. But I just feel like I had a breakthrough in the grocery store. Let me tell you what's up. I saw a young family in the grocery store. Kid was maybe 2 or 3. Little boy. Dad was about my age. Wife was, I'd probably put her around 30. They just seemed so miserable. They just seemed so miserable. Dad looked tired. To be honest, Mom looked kind of pissed off. I mean, they loved their kid, don't get me wrong. I think that was pretty obvious, but they just didn't look fulfilled, They just didn't look fulfilled. They didn't look happy. They didn't look satisfied with themselves. And it just sort of reminded me of a vision I had one time. And this vision was as clear as day. This was not a dream. This was a vision, okay? I'm sitting on a sofa in this really, funky little apartment. I assume somewhere in New York. I'm sitting on a sofa. Got a little boy in my lap. This little boy is probably 3. About the same age as the kid that I just saw in the grocery store. Had this dark curly hair, dark features, light brown eyes. It was pretty obvious this was my son. Pretty obvious this was my son. God, I'm getting choked up just thinking about this. And we're having a conversation, as dads do with their kids. I don't think I had the conversation about, Daddy, why do I only have one set of grandparents? That's a conversation I'm not looking forward to. But it was just sort of a benign conversation. Then I look up and my wife, who is this sort of classic exotic beauty. I love the exotic beauties, the, dark hair, dark complexion type. She's dressed nicely, wearing a nice dress. But we're happy, We're happy. We're going to some sort of event. Let's say we're going to some sort of event, some sort of event that I'm participating in. But we were happy, we were happy. But mostly I was happy. I got a great vibe from that vision. And as scared as I am to move to New York City, and let's face it, I am terrified. I'm not as scared, however, about staying put. Because I feel like if I stay put, then none of the visions that I've been having ever come true. Will I be a successful author 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Will I have a family? Will I have a coaching practice that gets me geeked to get out of bed every day? Probably not. In fact, I know it won't, because if I stay put, then none of that stuff will ever happen. I will grow old and miserable and resentful of everything. And nobody wants that. I don't want that. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. So I'm making a declaration right here, right now. I am no longer scared about my move. I am no longer scared about my move. I am excited. I am counting down the days, if I can ever get a firm day. But I am counting down the days that I can get the key in my hand, and Pete and me, or would that be Pete and I? Yeah, Pete and I walk into our Brooklyn apartment together. When I walk Pete down to a dog park, let him do his thing. Let him sniff, let him get to know the town. Walking down the sidewalk, that beautiful exotic beauty just happens to be walking her dog, stops me. I'm sorry, that is a gorgeous dog. I love the little spot on his ear. Why, thank you. Your dog is very tiny. So I'm declaring right here, right now, that I am no longer scared to move to New York City. I am excited. I am geeked up. I am ready to set the world on fire just to watch it burn. I am ready to bloom. I am ready to grow higher and stronger than the tallest redwood trees. I am ready to be the person that God put me on this planet to be. I'm ready to be a leader. I am ready to be honest. I am ready to be a person ready, willing, and able to set the world on fire. I'm ready to do it. I'm excited. I'm really excited all of a sudden. I'm really excited all of a sudden because those visions that I've been having, the vision of the great family, the vision of being interviewed on Colbert or being interviewed by Oprah, those visions can't come true. Those visions can't become reality until I do. So that is the message that I have today. This kind of went on a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but it's the message that I have today. And thank you so much for tuning in.